watching the Fox 5 News at 4.
All right, we often talk about the impact stress has on our body. Here's one you don't normally think about: acne in adults.
I thought about it in middle school and beyond, but local researchers have been working on an acne vaccine. We've got Dr. Sabrina Fabi here around the table to talk about it. Let's talk about why so many adults do have acne. We're talking about 40 to 55%. Why is that number up from what it used to be, or is this
grown.
kind of consistent?
I mean, at this point, basically 4 in 5 adults will have acne at some point in their life. And we're seeing that younger kids are being affected by it, mainly because a lot of people are going into puberty much earlier, so they're exposed to certain hormones that increase your oil gland secretion and put you at risk for acne. But also adults, we're seeing it much more in adults, and the thought is either it's hormones for possibly food or cortisol levels, which are released when you're stressed, are also on the rise, and so people are also exhibiting acne well into their 40s.
Wow. Okay, talk to me about this study out of UC San Diego, this acne vaccine.
Right, so there's a bacteria that's going to be on your skin all your life. It's called P. acnes, and it does have some good function, so you don't want to completely get rid of it, but it releases this little toxin. It's basically a pimple-inducing protein, and what these researchers have found is that if you can block that toxin from being released, which is what causes all the inflammation in acne, then you wouldn't see all those red, inflamed bumps all over your face. You wouldn't get the scarring that comes from the acne, and you also wouldn't get the acne. And so we usually treat conditions that we see, that cause or have really severe ramifications. So this would really be the first vaccine and something that we consider more aesthetic. But the reality is that acne has much deeper side effects, like depression. It can really affect people's mood, overall confidence. And then the drugs that we use to treat them can also have detrimental side effects. And so for that reason, people are now really exploring
let's talk. I want to ask about those drugs, Accutane being one of the big ones. I know that has a number of potential side effects that people worry about. What about this vaccine? Would that have side effects, and what might they be?
Right. Well, right now they've only tested it on mice, so we really don't know. I think we're really hoping that they'll eventually go into human trials soon, so that we can possibly see, well, if you get it kids, when they go into adolescence, 10 or maybe 14 years later, will it still have that effect? Well, you have to get boosters. We don't know. And what are the other potential ramifications of that toxin not being released? We just don't know yet. But on mice, they haven't seen any side effects yet. The side effects we know with the other drugs are if you're on oral antibiotics for a long time, you may actually develop resistance, and then when you need those antibiotics, you don't really respond to them anymore. So that's the concern of doing oral antibiotics for acne. With Accutane, there have been a lot of side effects that have been reported and covered much on the news, like depression, suicide, and so there are always people and parents that are concerned about putting their young ones on those medications.
Well, it's cool that this is coming out of San Diego, and I'll be really curious to see where this goes. I never knew that mice had acne. Like,
They don't anymore.
Who knew? They're looking, oh, look at the dots. Dr. Fabi, always great to have you. Really interesting topic this week. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.